Hello everybody, I'm John Coffey.
And I'm Matt.
And you are watching
Matt Reviews Mattober.
That is correct. We're back for our second review of the month of Mattober.
Yeah, we
all
go.
horror all month long.
Okay.
Anyways, today... Oh, you have something to say?
Alright. We went from kind of like Kitty, kind of.
Well, it was Kitty.
Still,
It was Kitty.
yeah.
It's Kitty movie.
Yeah, we went from a kids movie, which was last time, Paranorman, to now a straight up exploitation horror flick. What are you doing?
I'm excited. We are reviewing from 1977, Wes Craven's second movie, which is...
The Hills Have Eyes.
That is right. And it stars a bunch of people. Most notably, D. Wallace Stone, who would later go on to be in like Critters and E.T. and The Howling and
A lot of other
a
stuff.
lot of other good movies. And Michael Berryman.
Michael Berryman, we'll talk about him in this review.
So, plot for this is...
It's very simple.
It's your typical exploitation, you know.
Basically, I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Basically, a group of friends and family go out into the desert, and there's these crazy, wild hillbillies.
I wouldn't call them hillbillies. I call them like mountain folks.
Mountain folk.
Desert dwellers, you know.
Like crazy desert dweller things. Mutants.
Crazy. They're not mutants.
They're crazy. How are you describing them?
They're insane.
Yeah, insane.
Cannibalistic.
Hell, cannibalistic.
Humanoid
Crazy.
underground dwellers. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong movie.
But, and basically, they come out and try to kill the people.
Yep. They come out and they raid the family's RV, kidnapping the baby.
And even crazy people like milk.
It's true. You'll find that out in the movie. They kidnap the baby, and then what's left of the family, it's up to them to get back the baby and take down and try to survive this nightmare ordeal, you know.
But, I got something to say before we continue our reviews. We're not going to add any spoilers to...
Who survives and who don't.
Yeah, to any of the movies.
I thought you were going to say, baby fat and juicy. Alright, so let's get in the review. What did you think of The Hills Have Eyes?
Really creepy. Because I know this was probably like one of my first exploitation films, maybe.
You watched like, you know, Race with the Devil and stuff. It's lighter on the exploitation side, but
This
is more rough. This is a rougher film.
this movie, it was a jump ahead for me. In this movie, John told me, is like, I don't know about this one. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I watched it, I was like, God almighty, this is brutal.
Yeah, I mean, like, it lures you into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
And then, blammo!
Yeah, like, I guarantee that, who's the dad in this movie?
Papa Jupiter.
No, not that guy.
The actual
The
dad.
normal.
The actual dad, yeah, I don't know who he is.
But I was talking to Marcus. Me and him were watching it. He didn't watch all of it because he got scared. Yeah. But I told him, every time that guy said GD, we could take a drink of beer. And we would get drunk in like 30 minutes of the movie. He's like, GD, 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 GD.
Well, you know, it's supposed to be your typical Midwestern American family, you know.
Yeah, but seriously, I'd take a drink of beer if I was a drunk.
Or legal to drink.
Or legal to drink.
Because you're 13.
Yeah. If I was legal enough to drink, And I watched this movie and tried to play a beer game. Every time he said GD, I'd be drunk in the first 30 minutes of the movie. He says GD like every scene. Like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's a jump scene in there. And he's like, "Oh, GD!" And then he's walking around. He says, "Why would we have to go out here in the desert, GD?" Like, I don't know.
Well, my favorite thing about this movie is kind of where the remake strayed off as is and I'm not gonna talk about the remake, but they kind of strayed away from this. Is the fact that the killers in the films
They're not.
are, outside the fact they're wearing like crazy looking furs and like bone necklaces and stuff.
Mm.
There is a possibility for people like this to exist. Just crazy people who live up in the hills and come out and
If many of those watching this, we don't want to be eaten.
they kill and eat people. That's definitely a more believable scenario than like nuclear bomb testing mutants.
Yeah, like. Yeah, this is, and if you guys didn't hear the intro, this is the original one.
Yes,
1977.
Wes Craven.
Yeah, what's
the man
Craven?
who would bring you Last House on the Left, Nightmare on Elm Street,
Hills Have Eyes.
Swamp Thing.
Hills Have Eyes.
Bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Serpent the Rainbow, which is actually a really good one, but I've
Uh,
never been the biggest of Wes Craven fans.
This movie is pretty good.
This is one of my favorites. So I do love this movie a lot. I think Last House on the Left is a great classic, but this to me is Wes Craven at his finest.
Yeah.
And in his exploitation phase before he got out and started becoming more of a mainstream horror director.
And after this movie, he went on to make Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, stuff like that. But let's get farther on out of that little phase.
But yeah, it's definitely a brutal film. There's
Yes.
the infamous attack on the RV. They come in, they shoot the mother, they steal the baby, they eat the bird, they drink the milk. What?
You just spoiled some
There's two mothers in this movie.
Okay, there you go. But there's one scene, he's like drinking milk, his run ass teeth. I bet that wasn't. I hope that was warm milk, because if it was cold, it would froze. Like his teeth go like. And he goes to this bird cage, and this frightened the bird I had at my house. My bird was squawking every time in this scene. He's like, the bird. He takes it out, rips its head off, and goes like, and his blood around his teeth.
My favorite scene in the movie.
And my bird's like.
My favorite scene in the movie, I can't even remember what he says, but when he's eating the leg and he's talking to the burn up head.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "You think you can just come out to our day?
And
We're gonna get you."
And the people in the background.
Yeah, you tell him, Papa Jupiter. You're like, oh my God, this family's weird. And you can't talk about The Hills Have Eyes without talking about the great Michael Berryman, who plays Pluto in the film. And Wes Craven was such a genius to get this guy who, has this look about him. But it's a natural thing. It's a real thing. It's not prosthetics,
Yeah, and you guys might not know this unless you look it up. Michael Berryman, is that right? Yes. And he has a condition. I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what it's called either,
but it causes him not to grow any hair, fingernails,
or sweat glands.
So this probably was pretty hard on the guy.
Yeah, taking him out to the middle of the desert probably wasn't the greatest idea in the world, but
he's probably sitting in the corner.
It was great for him and Wes Craven because now you have this iconic figure from this film. If you look at the cover of The Hills of Oz, it's Michael Berryman.
Yeah.
If you think about The Hills of Oz, the first thing you think about is Michael Berryman. He's not even the main mutant, or not mutant, but crazy dude.
Yeah, I was talking to John after I watched this movie. I was like, that's cool how they done the makeup on that one guy's head on the cover. He said, well, that's not makeup, that's real. I was like,
yeah, that's
really?
Just him. It's almost taking a page out of Todd Browning's book with Freaks.
Yeah, I don't.
Not called Michael Berryman a freak or nothing. Just saying, it's a similar kind of thing where you're taking people with these real disorders and using them.
I thought we were gonna get interrupted.
To the best of your ability, the best of the what am I trying to say? Just slow down and actually think for a second here. Using their abilities
And using their looks.
with the character,
We're not calling Michael Berryman a freak.
No. I've actually heard he's a really nice guy. I've always wanted to meet him, but I haven't had a chance.
After this movie, I do want to meet him.
Yeah, he's so iconic,
Yeah, and he's also in the new Rob Zombie movie.
The Lords of Salem.
Lords of Salem. G did.
What was that? What was the beginning song? They're coming down.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. Trailer for Lords of Salem looks good. The song of Lords of Salem is not so good.
I should have brought Lords of Salem. Then we would have had a whole topic about it.
I think the trailer looks cool, but anyways, back to the Hills Have Eyes.
This movie is really good.
We can tie those together a little bit. Because not only is Michael Berryman Lords of Salem, he's also in The Devil's Rejects.
Oh, yeah.
See? We're getting full circle here. Anyways, back to the Hills. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it because it's a movie that people have talked about 100 times over. It's one of the most iconic horror films of that era, you know.
But I know something we could talk about. That's some of our favorite scenes.
I already talked about my favorite. It's the RV scene.
Yeah.
And like, no need to eat the turkey leg. Well, I'm sure it's not turkey leg. But
Probably it's
it's probably someone's leg. I think the hand, ain't it?
Yeah, the hand.
Yeah, he's eating the hand.
And
he's like,
so creepy. But one of my favorite scenes, I think everybody's seen this scene, so it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's sure seen that movie.
I think it's Papa Jupiter.
Papa Jupiter.
He has that things wrapped around his legs.
Papa Jupiter.
He gets those things wrapped around his legs, and he goes.
And they drag.
Now, I got a question for you and the fans, as if you don't know it already. How did they do that scene?
They probably just drug you, man.
Why? Wes Craven, you're a brutal man.
I think one of the big downfalls of this movie, in my humble opinion, is the girl. She's so annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby! Bobby! Like, shut up.
That also scared my bird.
Get yourself together, for God's sakes. Forget it. They killed everybody, but get yourself together.
But I know you might like the ending. I'm not a big fan of the ending. It's just weird.
What are you talking about?
It just cuts off.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. There's no, like... I mean, but there's a resolution to it, though, you know? It's not like it's just like... See you. You know, there actually is an ending.
Yeah, but it just...
It's abrupt. I mean, everything's moving at a quick pace, and all of a sudden, bam!
So, the credits. And at the very end of this movie, you know how you said Michael... Oh, you didn't say this. Michael Berryman is actually an animal activist, right?
Yeah.
At the very end of the movie, it says... No animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
Yeah, I mean... So, yeah.
Pretty good.
I think we've done well on this one.
I just remember, so we didn't do the 5 rating on Paranorman.
Yeah, dude, we'll get 4.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So what are you going to give The Hills Have Eyes?
I'm going to give it a 4. Because I would have went a little higher, but some of the acting's kind of off. And that chick you were talking about earlier was kind of annoying. Yeah. So I would have gave it higher, but I'm just going to give it a 4. I know.
I think I'll give it what I've always given, just a 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah. I think it's a solid, above-average movie.
I can agree with you on that statement, but I'm going to stick with 4.
That's good. That's fine. But yeah, watch The Hills Have Eyes on Halloween. It's a good one. I watched it last Halloween. On Halloween.
On Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
But before we go, I really don't know why I picked this movie to watch on Halloween, because it takes place in the desert.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
In the middle of the summer.
And I also recommend going out and watching the original Hills Have Eyes 2, just for the pure schnitz and giggles of it. Because you're going to see a dog have a flashback. And a bunch of dirt bike people fighting the mountain people.
I gotta watch that.
It's pretty bad, but, you know. Yeah, so that's it. Hills Have Eyes.
Abrupt ending.
Yeah, just like the Hills Have Eyes, we're done. Blam. So I gave it a 3.5.
I gave it a 4.
We'll see you next time. Next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday. I don't know what we're gonna be reviewing yet.
How about we'll go ahead and name it Dr. Fobbs.
Dr. Fobbs. And then Saturday, I don't know yet.
I don't know. I don't think that far ahead.
We'll review Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah!
No. I don't think he's gonna let me watch that yet.
Anyways, I'm John.
And I'm Matt.
And you're watching
Matt Reviews.